Good evening. I am Baron von Bark. To the uneducated pup, the object on my desk is merely calcium, a chew toy, a fleeting joy. But to the historian, this is trust. For 3,000 years, the packs of the world operated on a simple promise. A bone is a bone. You dig it up, you chew it, you bury it. It cannot be printed, and it cannot be forged. If you possessed a paper ticket in 1920, it was not money. No. It was a contract. A solemn vow from your alpha that at any moment you could walk into the vault and exchange that paper for this heavy, marrow-filled reality. This system kept the bulls full. It kept the alphas honest. But honesty is a heavy burden for a politician. By 1944, the great catastrophes had drained the vaults of Europe. The bones had migrated, settling deep in the reinforced pantries of the United States. The year was 1944, the Treaty of the Meadow. Two great minds entered the ring. Lord Keynes, a visionary greyhound who dreamed of a Bancor, a universal ticket that no single alpha could print, and the American Bulldog, Harry Dexter White. He didn't have dreams, he had the bones. The deal was struck. The American dollar, the alpha ticket, would be crowned king. It would be the only ticket in the world directly exchangeable for the bone. 35 tickets for 1 ounce of marrow. A fixed law. Now, in case you are wondering where the other dogs were while this agreement was being reached, they were right there, but they were silent and invisible because they no longer had the bones. To survive the great catastrophe, they had shipped their marrow across the ocean. By 1944, the American alpha sat on a hoard containing 2/3 of all the gold in the world. And how could a dog with an empty bowl have anything to say? With empty bowls, they had no choice but to sign. Now, pay attention. To understand how the bone eventually disappeared, you must first understand the leash. Mr. Keynes, the visionary, and Mr. White, the American with the bones, established a system of obedience training. The alpha ticket became the post, anchored firmly to the bone. Every other currency, the pound, the franc, was a dog on a tight leash, attached to that post. They could sniff to the left, or chase a butterfly to the right, but they could never stray more than 1% from the center. If a dog pulled too hard, the central banks had to yank the leash back. It was a global tug of war, where everyone agreed to stand perfectly still. But the silent dogs of the meadow eventually grew confident. By the 1960s, the United States was spending tickets it didn't have on the jungle wars in the Far East, guns and butter, cannons and kibble. The world was swimming in paper liquidity, but the vault was running low. General Poodle of France was the first to sniff the air. He sailed his ships to New York and barked,
"I do not want your promises! I want my bones!"
August 13th, 1971, Camp David. The American alpha quarantined his inner circle in a cabin of smoke and secrets. He didn't just lock the door, he cut every line of communication. The phone lines, the press, the foreign leaders. The world was locked out. The British and the French were already barking at the gates, clutching billions in paper tickets. If the Americans paid them out, the vault would be empty by Tuesday morning. If they refused, they broke the treaty. For 3 sleepless days, the cabin grew thick with smoke. 2 factions fought for the Alpha's soul. On one side, the traditionalists, the old guard. They argued for honor, clutching the treaty like a holy scripture. "We gave our word. The bone is our honor," they growled. On the other side, the politicians. They believed it was time for a change. "Honor does not win elections," they hissed. "The bone is not a bond, it is an anchor, and it is dragging us to the bottom." They leaned in close and whispered, "Snap the chain, and you survive." The American Alpha looked at the treaty. Then he looked at the door. Eventually, the American Alpha chose to save his own hide. On Sunday night, the television flickered to life. He didn't just close the gold window, he bricked it up. The leashes snapped. The currencies of the world were cast adrift, bobbing helplessly in the turbulent ocean of the float. Today, we live in a world of fiat, money by decree. We trust the Alpha to manage the supply. Usually, he does. But sometimes, when the inflation howls, you can see the old dogs digging in the yard, looking for that one true, solid thing. Because a promise is nice.
But a bone is a bone.